So the reality of it is that all religion is New Age. Hey guys, it's John here in my living room, and I wanted to hop on and talk real quick about the concept of all religion being New Age. What does that mean, John? What are you talking about? All religion can't be New Age because New Age is its own construct, it's its own genre. The reality of it is all religion is New Age because when you look at the history of mankind, right now the oldest documented human remains that have been found are over 200,000 years old. The oldest documented religion is 10,000 years old. Now, if you take the idea of that and you take the timeline of humanity being a yardstick, 36 inches, right? And then you take the realization of the last 1.8 inches of the yardstick is documented religion. So for almost 200,000 years, there was no religion that has been able to be documented. All of our constructs of religion, spirituality, all have happened in this little tiny piece at the end of the yardstick. And the modern New Age movement, which really began in the late 1800s with Madame Blavatsky and going to the Theosophical Society and then moving on up into the New Age movements of the 80s, 90s, and so on, they haven't even made it onto the yardstick yet. Humanity is older. Now, what happened prior to that last inch and 8 tenths? What happened prior to that? It was simplicity itself. It was living from the concept of fight or flight. It was living from the place of positives and negatives. It was living from the place of love and fear. It was clear. It was clean. It was pure. And then the constructs of the mind come in and begin to muddy it up. It has to be this way. We have to believe that. We have to do these kind of things. If you don't believe this, you're not good as me. You're not going to get to heaven because my way is the only way. You have to do a mantra meditation. You have to do these things. All these layers of things that came from the mind of man in the last inch and 1.8 inches at the end of that yardstick. But all the rest of this, we survived for 200,000 years without that religion, without those New Age beliefs, and I call them New Age because it's obviously a New Age belief when you compare it to 200,000 years of humanity. It's a New Age construct. And so when you look at it from that perspective, you start to realize that it's all far simpler. In my first regression, I literally say it's so simple we have a hard time comprehending it. And I often talk about be the feeling, not the thinking. Well, the religions, the constructs, the ideas, even the soul contracts, the meanings of crystals, the meanings of the stars, all of that is in that 1.8 inches at the end of this yardstick. It all comes down to this explosion of thought, and people are trying to figure out what the meaning of life is and all these things. And I always go back to um, Monty Python. He says, "What's the meaning of life?" And he says, "People aren't wearing enough hats." you know, I think it's hysterical because it's people are choosing what the meaning of life is. But when you get out of the mindset of what the meaning is and come back to the idea of the feeling, you've often heard me talk about the concept of God speaks in feelings, not thinkings. When you come back to the feeling, come back to that space of simply feeling, what you find very quickly is that space of simply feeling is who you are naturally. It's your authentic self. You're experiencing things from various ways. The mind takes us down these pathways. What did Jeshua say in my one regression? He says, when you seek a path is laid before you, but until you turn the path back to yourself, you never find the doorway. all of these ideologies, all of these theologies, all of these religions, these doctrines, these dogmas, these New Age beliefs, those are all just pathways of the mind away from your feeling self. Adam and Eve, they ate from the tree of knowledge, they got kicked out of paradise. The feeling of paradise, the idea of feeling. Because paradise is not definable as an absolute. For me, a paradise might be a beach. For somebody else, it might be a mountain. It always comes down to what do you believe is your paradise. But that what you believe is the feeling. It's the idea. It's the concept. Sitting on a beach, how beautiful. That's my paradise. That's the feeling. So when I look at people trying to dictate what we're supposed to believe or telling us we're wrong because we don't believe what they believe, all I see is people going down these sojourns of the mind, looking for a pathway to be right. And then once they get on that pathway, they tend to start telling people this is what the truth is. And in reality, in the course of human history, this is a fleck in time. It's not even really a hasn't even really made it into a solid measurement yet. It's not 2 inches. It's 1.8 inches of 36 in human documented history. 1.8 inches is when the oldest religion, Hinduism, was discovered. That's the oldest documented religion in the world is Hinduism. And so when you look at this idea of dogmas and doctrines and what the churches have done and how people struggle with their guilt and fear and anxiety, realize for 200,000 years you never would have had those things without those religions. You never would have experienced the guilt and the fear that is thrust upon you by the mind of man trying to explain something bigger than himself. Religion is a construct of the mind. Spirituality is a construct of the mind. The idea of spirituality, the New Age spirituality, it's all constructs of the mind. Those are the pathways away from yourself. Come back to feeling. I leave you one commandment, love one another. Love is the feeling. Someone asked me today, what would be the greatest declaration that I could create? And my declaration was, I am love. I am the feeling of love. I'm being the essence of love. I'm living into love. People want to get mad at me for saying that, or I often get people when I say something like that who accuse me of being an ego about it. I'm not. I love everybody, and when it comes down to this idea of spirituality being a personal journey, that is a direct representation of I am love. I understand it's your personal journey, and I don't judge you for your journey. And, unless you judge me, and then I'm just going to kind of just blow you off. I'm going to hide you from the channel because you're going to be mean or try to prove me wrong. I'm not going to stick around because I'm very confident in my belief that I am love. People ask me what my religion is. My religion is I am love. My religion is I am love. And so simply be that love. Be the change you want to see in the world. If you want a loving world, be love. You want to have love in your life, be love. You want to have the experience of a loving family around you, be the love. Express the love. Be the change. And realize there's no need for new age dogmas, old age dogmas. That last 1.8 inch segment of the yardstick is unnecessary. It really comes down to you stepping into your personal power of creating your paradise, creating your love. And when you do that, you'll find the true spirituality. You'll find the oneness of God. The Father and I are one. You must become one with me as I am with the Father. Let go of the esoteria of it and come into the present moment realization of it. I am love. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.